Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bitcoin Halving Countdown brought to you by Coin News Extra TV. So we are looking at what is Bitcoin halving. So I'm going to be running through what we have for you today because a lot of people may have been hearing about Bitcoin halving and they don't really understand Bitcoin halving. If you're in that category that you've been asking questions, trying to understand what Bitcoin halving is, to get more information about Bitcoin halving, that's why we are bringing this program to you, Bitcoin halving, brought to you by Coin News Extra. So before we proceed to the conversation proper, we are going to be reading out some of the key facts that you need to know about Bitcoin halving. Please do well to follow us across all social media platforms at Coin News Extra TV for you to stay up to date of what is really happening in the world of crypto, blockchain, crypto, AI, and fintech ecosystem. So I'm your host, Lee. So let's proceed to the conversation proper. So I'm going to be reading out some of the key facts that you're going to be looking at while you wait for Bitcoin halving 2024, because we are on the month of April. That's when Bitcoin halving will be happening this year. So we are going to be looking at why does Bitcoin have? Why is it that Bitcoin have? That's what we are going to be looking at briefly. We are going to be looking at what Bitcoin halving is. We're also going to be looking at how Bitcoin halving works, how it really works, and we are going to be also be looking at the history of Bitcoin halving and the first halving that occurred, the first Bitcoin halving that occurred, and then we are going to be looking at when is the next Bitcoin halving. Of course, that is this year. So we're going to be looking at the actual date of this month that Bitcoin halving is going to be happening. So that's it. So we are going to go for a short break. When we return, then we'll proceed with the explanations of these bullet points. Please do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the program Bitcoin Halving Countdown, brought to you by Coin News Extra TV. So I've been able to look at some of the major facts you should check out while you're waiting for Bitcoin halving this year. So I'm going to be looking at number one on the list there. Why does Bitcoin halve? So Bitcoin halve was designed for why Bitcoin halving occurs, or why Bitcoin halve is because the Bitcoin system was designed to create scarcity of Bitcoin. So because the more miners are mining and getting reward, the more Bitcoin is out there. But this halving that occurs every 4 years helps to reduce the number of Bitcoin out there circulating through miners. So the more Bitcoin halving occurs, the more the more Bitcoin becomes scarce. The idea is that reducing supply against everything. The more there is much more supply. Bitcoin total supply is 21 million. So if this halving occurs, it creates scarcity of Bitcoin and thereby driving up the price of Bitcoin in the market, and also reducing the circulation of Bitcoin. Having gone through why Bitcoin have, I've been able to explain that. So we'll move over to what is actually Bitcoin halving. Bitcoin halving simply means the reduction of reward of miners. In the Bitcoin algorithm, when Bitcoin was programmed by Satoshi Nakamoto, we don't know we don't know who that person is. The algorithm there makes it that every 4 years, the reward for miners, people that are mining Bitcoin, are being halved into two. So whatever thing they are getting at present, by the next Bitcoin halving, that is almost in 13 days, it will be halved into two. So that's simple what Bitcoin halving is, because that makes it possible for, even though the demand for Bitcoin remains the same, but with the halving, it makes the price of Bitcoin to go up, and also makes the circulation of Bitcoin. What happens in price is that when demand is higher than supply, the price goes up. But when the supply is higher than demand, its price goes down. That's the simple economics behind it. So take it. Bitcoin halving is the reward of miners. The halving of miners, the division, a reduction of rewards of miners that have been built into the Bitcoin algorithm, so that every 4 years, the reward that have been given to miners is being reduced or being halved. So that's it. So we'll move over to the next fact there. Over to how does Bitcoin halving work? How does it work? So when you hear about mining, Bitcoin mining, these are people that validate transactions on the Bitcoin network, the blockchain network. So how this happens is how it works is that each transaction they validate, they are being rewarded for that process. Currently, they are being rewarded of 6.25 BTC at the moment for each transaction they complete on the blockchain. They help confirm on the blockchain network. That's just how this works. So when you're hearing about Bitcoin halving and how it works, this is how it works. So people confirm transactions with, there are many ways. Bitcoin works by proof of work. So it's not a proof of stake, it's a proof of work. So people they participate in the process called mining through their ASIC miner. There are different computers, supercomputers that can help them participate and all that, facilitating the transactions that happen on the Bitcoin blockchain network. So that's just how it works. So we'll move over to the next bullet point there. We're going to look at the history of Bitcoin halving and when they first halving occurred. So bear this in mind that Bitcoin started mining. So miners were the first reward of mining Bitcoin for each transaction that have been confirmed, the mining block. They have been rewarded with 50 Bitcoin, 50 BTC. So the first Bitcoin halving occurred on November. So it occurred on November 2012. That was the first time Bitcoin halving occurred. And the next time it occurred was in 2016. And next was in 2020. And next is now that we're going to be looking at. So the next Bitcoin halving is going to happen this year. So it happens every 4 years. So the first Bitcoin halving occurred in 2012, and the first, before its occurrence, Bitcoin miners are being rewarded for each block they discover at the rate of Bitcoin 50 BTC. But as each of them happen, each of those halving occurs. So the first halving occurred, dividing the reward of BTC to miners to 25. The next happened, and we are currently at 6.25 BTC. By the time this occurs, the next Bitcoin, because that's what we're going to be looking at, and when is the next Bitcoin halving? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we're going to be summing it up. The next Bitcoin halving this month, this year. So that's when the next BTC. So we are going to be keeping you up to date. This is Bitcoin halving countdown. So we're going to be keeping you up to date with everything that is happening. So next week, I'm going to be coming back with more facts about Bitcoin halving, more fact that will enlighten you, give you more that is more thought-provoking about Bitcoin halving. So I remain your host. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Lee is my name, so I look forward to seeing you next week. So stay tuned to Coin News Extra TV and also follow us across all social media platforms at Coin News Extra TV. Bye for now.